So welcome to another episode of the Coffee Conversation Show powered by the Emerging India Forum TIF and our tech partner Prime Infotech Solution. Series is The Emerging Lawyer. Theme is From Founder to Leader, Empowering Businesses. So we have with us guest speaker Harshita Agarwal, founder of Lex Level Services and President of the Uttar Pradesh Anti-Corruption Council. Harshita has over 7 years of experience in legal and compliance consulting. She has made a significant impact in the field of contract management, policy development, and corporate compliance. She is also a certified anti-money laundering specialist and a renowned trainer and advisor for prevention of sexual harassment, Posh Act, and workplace diversity. So, friends, it's what you say, a Sri Shakti, which we're having a conversation with Harshita. She has done a lot and there's more to achieve. So, Harshita, welcome to today's coffee conversation.
Thanks, Amir.
Yeah. So, just want to explain you, we have got 3 rounds: professional, personal, and the rapid fire round. For that, you get to win this book, Shaping the
Wow.
Digital.
Okay, I hope I do.
Okay. So, friends, I'm Lion Amir Virani here, host of Coffee Conversation and a legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution. So let's begin our conversation journey. So, Harshita, can you tell us about your journey in founding Lex Level Services and what inspired to start your own law firm instead of joining some other law firm or a corporate legal team?
I'll start with saying that it's not a law firm, it's a legal and compliance consulting company. And my journey to founding Lex Level Services began with a very simple and yet powerful realization that I wanted to do more for my clients, right? So I had the opportunity to work with very big brands and big names, and I was at that time bursting with innovative ideas, and I was eager to explore some unconventional strategies, if we can put it that way, which I believe significantly could impact the clients, or I wanted to basically do more than what my role required. So, you know the nature of the corporate life, and you are to adhere to a specific role, to a structured code of conduct, but it also sometimes limits your scope of what you could offer as an individual or as a professional, right? So um, at that time, everybody has a calling in their life, as people say. So I think at that moment when I decided that I wanted to venture out, so I required the freedom to experiment and implement strategies that I personally believed in would work for the people that I was working with or for the clients. So that is how I pushed my boundaries and took the leap of faith to deliver exceptional value. And well, here we are today. So that is how Lex Level was actually born. And it is a legal and compliance consultancy company where we aim to meet innovation with client centric solutions. So our motto is always to deliver what the client's requirements are. And if you also look at the name, it sort of rings with next level, and it is like a kind reminder to oneself that always push the boundaries ahead and go forward towards unlocking new potential. So that is about the journey so far.
I was going to ask you about the name part
Yeah.
uh, before sharing about it because it's a unique level and there is a lot of significance in the name, so which is also inspiring. So now, can you share some challenging compliance issues you have faced at Lex level and how did you overcome them?
I think being in the legal and compliance consultancy field, I feel the most significant challenge that I personally think is to make your clients realize the importance of, or rather, I should say, critical importance of certain legal or compliance obligations. Because somehow I have observed that there is a mindset still prevailing that if we are not under the radar, then things are fine. But non-compliance has a way of catching up with you. It might be today or tomorrow, but surely it will. So I can talk about a case wherein it was involving something for data protection and privacy regulations. As you know, it is something talked about. We are awaiting the rules in the near future, and there has been some major incidences in the past. So I was trying to tell my client, that the current framework is not up to the mark, and we need to proactively update the outdated structure so that we can reduce the significant risks and also protect the stakeholders involved. So I had to carefully walk him through the potential repercussions of non-compliance, the hefty fines, the reputational damage, the business loss, the stakeholder damage. So eventually, we did come to a conclusion. He understood the competitive advantage of complying with all the regulations, the security it has with all of those things. And then we were able to develop a holistic complete framework, and we were able to audit them, get it audited, get the certifications. So now the he's also very happy and secured that okay, I'm completely protected from all ends. So yeah.
Wow. So now let's go to your one by one roles, which you have added in your what do you say, different feathers you have added in your crown. First one I'll start with. You have done the certification. You are a certified and anti-money laundering specialist.
Yeah.
So, what kind of cases have you handled, and how does one sensitize, what do you say, companies, their team, and others for avoiding not coming into this AML Act?
Yeah. So, anti-money laundering is something that is mostly significant in areas where we talk about financial risk or transaction risk, right? And it is, I think, prevailing in almost, and it has an effect in all sort of industries. So, while you talked about training and sensitization, our approach has always been to focus on practicality and engagement. So, for example, even when we get involved with somebody or somebody comes to us asking questions, we first make them understand their requirement, and from there we step ahead. So the approach always begins with ensuring that they have a solid foundation in detecting and assessing the suspicious money laundering activities that could potentially threaten their organization, because it is very important to understand what are the gaps in your existing system before you can improve them, right? So even when I talk about a risk based approach, so it is important to know what are the risks before we could counteract them. So in all the frameworks that we develop for our clients, either it is through gap analysis, risk based approach, or through audit of their existing framework, our approach has always been to see what are their requirements and what are their touch points, which could be also an open points which could seep in risks. So that is what how we deal with our clients specifically in the ACAM section or the AML practices.
Wow. Now let's go to your role as a Posh trainer and DEI. What are the key elements you focus when you conduct this kind of training and consulting for your clients?
Well, if I talk about your POSH, which is your prevention of sexual harassment, your diversity, equity, and inclusion, these are all very topics which are very sensitive. And there might be some people who might have experienced something in their lives while attending the workshops or the training sessions or the knowledge sessions that we are providing. So it is very important that we create a very safe environment, a very comfortable environment, and that is always a top priority before we start any session, right? And to achieve this, one thing or the one trick rather that I use is to do an icebreaker session. So what is an icebreaker session? Basically, it's just like a game or like a fun activity which will sort of refocus the people who are sitting in my training session or in my workshop, and try to make them okay and accept that okay, this is what we're going to talk about. We need to be open, or we can be carefree, or we can be comfortable. So to create that sort of environment is very important before we start any session. And of course, we always focus to have a very practical or interactive session, because it is important कि जब आप कुछ कर रहे हैं, then you are able to relate to it with all of your five senses, right? So whether it is through touch, through creativity, through senses, so we try to involve the people really in the sense. So for example, I'll give you an example. We have a session in the next 1 week as well. So what we are doing there is to promote diversity and inclusivity in their organization. We are sort of having a small art and craft activity at the end of the theoretical session, wherein they will create a board and all of them will bring small piece from their culture which they can exhibit in the organization. So to promote diversity, we are using real life scenarios and cases. So that is the approach that we follow while doing Posh and DNI. So
Wow.
we do a lot of case studies, we do case laws, discussions, quizzes, games, interactive sessions, along with, of course, theoretical approach.
So that is a training part. What
Yeah.
about how the experience been for consulting?
Okay. For Posh specifically, I'm also a member of a lot of external, as an external member to a lot of ICC committees, pan India. So I can talk about one of the case which is sort of very close to my heart, I would say rather. So I was assisting my ICC committee for my clients in investigating a complaint that they had received from their organization, and it was a little bit like a tricky case, and a lot of investigation, witness interviews, evidence collection, then document recording, and a lot of steps were involved in it. And also, like, I had personal interviews with the victims as well to analyze the complete situation. And in such cases, you need to be very, very cautious and very, very thorough as well, before you could take any steps, because you are sort of holding the authority to make a decision for somebody, right? So consultancy wise, that was, I think, one of the very crucial experiences that I had as a Posh advisor. And thankfully we were able to close the case very successfully. We, as Lex Level Services, we also offer counseling sessions to the people involved, either they are victims or uh, the any, if there are any retaliators or any witnesses who were sort of impacted by such a session or such a situation. So post that, we also did like an awareness campaign in their organization to prevent any such happening. So I think that was a very crucial experience as a Posh consultant.
Wow. Okay. Now let's go to your this next role as president of the Uttar Pradesh Anti-Corruption Council. So what are your roles and responsibilities over there, and what are the activities happening under this wiki?
So WICCI is like a women-centric organization where I am fortunate enough to meet a lot of powerful leaders, and a lot of powerful females who are doing just brilliant in their life. So being a part of WICCI has been very inspirational, and it has influenced a lot of parts of my life. And well, being part of the Anti-Corruption Council for WICCI, we have launched few campaigns where we have made people aware about anti-corruption and how we can combat those scenarios, or what are the scenarios wherein we can work. And being part of Wiki has been a great platform to meet new people and exchange ideas and to learn from them. And I think, yeah, the overall role, I mean, it's not very demanding in time, I would say. But the instances or the situations or the events that come up as a precedent in this role has been a great journey so far.
Wow. Okay. Now, what strategy do you implement to foster a culture of compliance and ethics within the organizations?
Well, as I mentioned before, we always go with the approach that one should know what are the gaps, right? We can't
Yes.
foster a culture of compliance or ethics unless we know what is the base that we have to work on. So before moving forward with any such requirement, we always recommend our clients to go for a potential assessment wherein we assess their internal compliance and their statutory compliance. So your internal compliance would be your internal company, your policies, procedures, your trainings or your workplace culture, your leadership involvement. So it sort of gives us a holistic view of your internal ethics and compliance strategies. So we also analyze the relationship with the clients, with the stakeholders, and how overall the company functions. And if I talk about statutory compliance, then it of course is your regulatory compliance and your fulfillment of obligations. So once we develop or do that assessments, we, if there are any gaps, are in their existing framework. So our first step or aim is to fulfill those gaps and close the risks, and then later on to build on working a more resilient ethics and compliance framework for the organization. So it involves a lot of trainings, awareness programs, building of documentations, SOPs, all of those.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Now, Harshita, how do you stay updated with the ever evolving regulatory landscape and what resources do you rely on?
Interesting. So I think, as you might know, that doctors and lawyers are the two kind of people who can never stop studying, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, the law and compliance is like it's no exception. So we have to constantly keep ourselves updated of the latest developments, and we have to use like multifaceted strategies to be true. I personally can talk about what I do. So I rely heavily on a combination of reputable legal databases. You can say industry specific journals, newsletters, online platforms where I can receive real time updates on regulatory changes. So you actually have to be constantly on your feet looking to learn more and always be curious that you know what's next. So that has been one of the approaches, and I think the second approach that has worked very well for me is attending a lot of webinars, conferences, seminars, participating in knowledge sharing sessions. Because in those sessions, you meet the, I would say, the pioneers of the industry. You get to learn about the upcoming changes or the upcoming trends. And you also get to learn a lot about different industries where the same law might apply, right? So, all of these are the different sort of strategies that I apply personally to keep myself updated.
Good. Now, uh, how has technology helped you and which tools has impacted your work?
Hmm. I think especially in today's date, technology plays a very, very pivotal role across all industries, in fact. And legal field is no exception because we constantly see new tools coming up which are automating the paralegal work specifically. And there are a lot of tools for a lot of things these days. So in this fast-paced environment, we can't just rely on manual measures. That is for sure. So one of the most significant tools or something that we constantly use is a contract management tool. We use it ourselves for our organization, and we have also implemented it for our clients as well. So it is like an entire life cycle of contracts that can be done in a very risk free or with a very less human involvement, if I can put it that way. starting from your drafting to your negotiating to your redlining and to your execution, everything is done online. And we also have like a repository of all the contracts along with their renewal dates and what are the terms. So it's like a pretty great tool which we use to have like a summary of all the contracts with all the vendors. And it is actually very very useful for people who work with like a lot of vendors, right? So it is very very great in that manner. And I think the second thing, because I worked in the compliance field particularly, and compliance is something which is regularly changing, and it is sort of sometimes becomes difficult to keep track. So we use this tool wherein we get live updates, and it sort of tells the organization of their compliance status, and it identifies the potential risks and gaps that needs to be addressed in terms of uh, what are the new upcoming, for example, notices or compliance challenges, and how they can be fulfilled. So it sort of gives a real time scenario if there is any new notice from RBI or SEBI, or if there is any new change in law, or if there is any new reporting that needs to be done. So all of those things we do through our compliance tool.
Wow. Okay. Now, who's a mentor or influencer from the legal world, from the compliance world, who has influenced you?
Um, well, a mentor, honestly, I'm still looking for one. I really want, I really want like one mentor in my life who can tell me, okay, you are going there the wrong direction. This is the right direction. Right now, I'm working solo here, little lacking on mentorship. But if I talk about influence, so I think I'm very greatly inspired and influenced by my grandfather. He is a retired district judge. And growing up, I was fortunate enough to witness his dedication, integrity, and his unwavering commitment to justice. So seeing his journey up close was inspirational, and it played a significant role in me choosing to go into the field of law when I was young, during my school or college days, maybe. But if I talk about my professional career, then I had a privilege of meeting, I would specifically say, two very powerful and impactful women, like, and the way they played their leadership role and with so much of resilience and the ability to navigate such complex situations with confidence, ethics, integrity. I mean, it was like plus in all scenarios. I think that was something which was incredibly inspiring, and these encounters sort of sparked a desire in me to make a meaningful impact in ethics and compliance field. Like, I wanted to see myself near them, sort of.
Wow. Okay. So my last question for the professional journey round, what advice would you give to aspiring lawyers who want to specialize in corporate legal compliance and consulting?
Well, my advice for aspiring lawyers who want to get into the field of consulting would be first to, of course, have a very strong foundation, but not just in legal knowledge, but I would say in business acumen as well, because corporate goes hand in hand with business and legal. So, corporate compliance requires a deep understanding of how the business operates in relation to the legal requirements. So that is one advice. And second, I would say networking, because networking is very crucial to connect with professionals, wherein you can have different insights from people in different spheres of their lives, and you can learn a lot from there. And it sometimes opens new challenges or new channels for you, which you might not even have thought about. But the more you talk to people and the more you meet people, I think it sort of uh, resonates with yourself as well, and you have then more options in your life.
Wow. Perfect. Okay. Now let's go to the next round, knowing Harshita. Can you share about your family and your formative years?
My formative years. Okay, I'm married since past 4 years, and I'm fortunate enough to have very loving in-laws and very loving husband. And actually, they are the ones who sort of pushed me to start my own venture. And I think my family and my friends are like my number one cheerleaders at this point of time, and they're very supporting, no doubt. And if I talk about my former years, I'm a gold medalist in speed skating. I'm a national record holder. And yeah, I think in my childhood days, I think there was only two things that I used to do. That is sports and studies. Yeah. But then, gradually I decided not to venture into the sports field and go into the studies field. And then here I am.
Okay. Let's go back to your college, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University. What are the memories and activities you were part of?
Okay, so I used to participate in a lot of fun activities also. So there was this art, and I think I was a bit of a shaitan kid, if I might put it like that. So I have, yeah. So I have like three best friends from college, and I'm very grateful for them. We are still very, very close. And if I talk about activities, I think I've participated in moot court cases, and I've participated in skits, in art, in dance. I think I tried my hand in everything when I was in college. And I used to do a lot of internships actually. So if my college was for half day, for the next half day I used to do internships.
Okay. Any message you want to give to your three best friends? This is the time on this platform to the Coffee Conversation Show.
Yes, I think I want to tell them that I'm very, very grateful for them, and they always love and support me, and they are my biggest cheerleaders, and they remind me that it is necessary to count your blessings and keep on moving forward, and you will achieve what you want to achieve. So thanks a lot for your support always.
Wow. Okay. Now, Harshita, uh, sorry, how do you maintain a work-life balance? What, according to you, means what are the things you do for maintaining a healthy work-life balance?
I think with a line as demanding as ours, it is important to sort of draw a line somewhere wherein you can say that, okay, now this is my time. So I make sure that Sundays is something I keep for family and myself, friends. But apart from that, if I talk about work life balance, so before going to bed, I make sure that I have some time for myself. And usually, after working hours, I try to go for a swim. So I do swimming. So that is something that sort of calms me down, brings me back to focus. You can analyze the day, how it went. So I think you need to draw your own priority, because work never stops, and yeah, and there's no working hour. You can work always. So I think it depends upon you how you want to balance your life.
Wow. Okay. Uh, any favorite book or movie that has inspired you?
Um, um, I think movie two that I can like recall right now. One is The Pursuit of Happiness,
Interesting.
and I think the next one that I would want to say is 14 years of prison. I think that was the name, or 14 years of slavery, something like that.
Wow. Okay.
14 years of slave, right?
I'll I've watched The Pursuit of Happiness. I'll watch this one.
Yeah, it sort of talks about, both the movies, in fact, of determination, of keep going forward irrespective, and eventually you will achieve what you want to achieve or where you want to be in life. It's sort of like heartwarming in that way.
Wow. Okay. Now, from your bucket list for 2024, what like to do in the remaining months?
In the remaining months, honestly, I'm not given it a thought on a personal note. Professionally, I have a calendar what I want to do in the next coming months. Um, I'm I think I want to like build more in terms of quicker strategies for if I talk about my organization. Like currently, we are at the stage where we are revamping a few things, and we are sort of building on what our clients require at this point of time from us. So for the next months, we aim to close all that revamping of strategy on time. And if I talk about on a personal note, I think this year so far has been very fantastic and I'm grateful for it. A lot of achievements as well. But I got to travel a lot this year somehow. So I visited, I think, 4 to 5 new countries this year. And hopefully I'll go somewhere again in the next 5 months.
Okay, so best wishes. So
Thank you.
now, Harshita, we have 7 series under the Coffee Conversation. So one of them now you are the emerging you are. We have another one, Sri Shakti. So I want to ask you this question: what does Sri Shakti mean to you?
Stree Shakti, right?
Yes.
Well, it's a such a heavy word, which I think we can talk about for hours, right? So,
I do.
I also have like a separate NGO which I run with my mother-in-law. It is called WEC, Women Empowerment Foundation, where we actually work on Stree Shakti. So we host defense classes for women. We cater to underprivileged kids, and we have a lot of programs under that. So one Free Shakti would for me is that NGO, because we work practically in that sphere. But if I talk about what I understand by Sri Shakti is to know your own true power, because it is very important to know your own true power without undermining anybody else.
Wow, beautifully said. So now, my last question. Describe Harshita in one line.
It is it is sort of difficult to describe yourself because you are always constantly judging and analyzing your actions and what you've done right and what you've done wrong. But I think if I want to say something about myself, I think I'm a stubborn person. And if I set my mind to something that no, I want to achieve this, then I think I will. It might take a little longer, it might take a few more extra steps, but I think eventually I'll get there, and I have that faith. And I think my name actually means happiness. So I hope I'm able to give that happiness to the people that I work with or to the family and friends that I'm associated with. And the other thing is determination.
Wow. Okay. Now let's go to the rapid fire, the fun round.
Yeah.
Uh, your favorite cuisine, food dish.
Pasta. I think I was Italian in my last life.
Okay. Tea or coffee?
Both actually. Morning coffee, evening tea.
Okay, so let's raise the toast.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers. One thing you can't live without.
My husband.
Okay. Uh, best piece of advice you've ever received.
To be grateful for small achievements so that you don't get lost in your long journey.
Wow. Okay. Your favorite movie?
I just said pursuit of happiness.
Sorry, I'm repeating again. I want something else. Bollywood movie. Let me ask you.
Favorite,
Favorite Bollywood movie.
favorite Bollywood movie. कुछ कुछ होता है.
Wow, nice one. Yes. Okay. Uh, you're a morning person or night owl?
Mm, I think I'm an in-betweener who sleeps on time and wakes on time, neither very early nor very late.
Okay. 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 Your favorite color?
Purple.
Your go-to stress relief activity?
Mm, either painting or some sort of physical activity, maybe like running or gym or swimming, anything.
Wow. Very good. So you did well, and you'll get this book
Yay!
autographed that will be delivered to your place. Do go through and share your feedback. So, friends, it was a lovely conversation we had with Harshita as a profession, legal compliance and consulting, wearing multiple hats and uh, contributing to society with her mother and having a lovely husband. So watch this episode. We come to know what women can achieve, what Sri Shakti means, and it is achievable. Do get inspired by this episode. Watch this when it's uploaded on our Coffee Conversation, the Coffee Conversation Show on YouTube channel. There are over 180 plus episodes with different subject experts in this 4-year journey. If you want to be a coffee speaker, visit our website, theemergingindiaforum.com, fill in the form. Our team will connect with you and invite you. So look forward to another interesting conversation with another woman who is empowered to inspire us. Thank you.
Thank you, Amir.